Part 90. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 896. Chapter 896 Spirit Pellet. Without pop-up windows, thousands of book fans simultaneously made Wei Suo and Ling Longtian feel strange and extraordinary, which is emitted from the natural stone tower of 200 feet. Leaf. Wei Suo etal divine consciousness kept sweeping out and carefully looked around. This should be the time when Sword King Old Ancestor was at the peak, and Yu Wei was not. Ling Longtian looked at the left side of the stone tower and spun out a few substantial sword chi from time to time, making a crack in the space of the surging sound, facing Wei Suo. Wei Suo nodded, and the mirror-like space crack clearly showed the Sword King Old Ancestor. Sword King Old Ancestor was left with a divine sense, and he almost killed him. At the moment, this secret place, the power of a sword, has not dissipated until now. Divine Mystic 5th layer is the great treasure of the peak, its realm does amazing. Because the amazing sword chi that appears in the cracks in the space looks like a mysterious, but there is no chapter shapeshift great art, but only the residual energy, so Wei Suo is not wasting time. The focus is obviously stone, but it is biased. The exterior is covered with a mottled patina on the natural stone tower. There seems to be no special restrictions, there is something inside, but I can't see clearly. Ling Longtian's eyes flashed in gold, and looked at Wei Suo for a moment. Wait to ask this person again. Wei Suo didn't dare to make great treasures. He reached out and splendid light into the Caoyi naked body behind him, and solved the burning smoldering fire in Caoyi naked body. There is something inside this. After taking an analgesic spirit pellet into a mist, and using true Yuan into Caoyi's naked body, Wei Suo no longer asked for lust. Give me a good time, I will tell you everything I know. Caoyi's throat seems to have broken, giving a hay-like surging sound. Wei Suo was silent for a moment. Originally, he decided that he would not give Caoyi a good time, but this person is like a dog, and suddenly he feels that torture of this person has no meaning. Really broke the Sky Sword Sect mountain gate, smashed Caoyi, and learned that another surnamed Sky Sword Sect cultivator has also been killed. Wei Suo's heart is full of violent temperament, and the mood is very great treasure. Change. Is a point. Invisible, Wei Suo felt that this time to attack Sky Sword Sect for the final step of breaking Divine Mystic. There is also a good secret place of great treasure. This bitter out, even in his cultivation base, it seems put some unfavorable things out. Let yourself solve mortal body turns into wood, and finally Divine Mystic breakthrough, it cannot improve a lot of success rate. And this time with the great treasure ban, Sky Sword Sect's several pieces of the inheritance of shapeshift great art, including the last Xuanhuan's great treasure war, gave him a lot of new insights. Well, you tell me everything I want to know, I promise you a good time. After Wei Suo indulged for a moment, he watched Caoyi nod and said. It is said that there is the body of Sword King Old Ancestor and the shapeshift great art of my Sky Sword section. As for the rest, I don't know. Caoyi saw that Wei Suo nodded, like a great treasure, and even renewed her grateful look, which made Ling Longtian speechless and felt that it would be meaningless to torture the cultivator like a dog. Is there any special restrictions? Wei Suo didn't look at Caoyi too, looking at the strange stone tower covered with patina. With his divine consciousness, you can slightly perceive this. I don't know this. This secret place is the forbidden place that my Sky Sword Sect can only enter with Sect Master and Supreme Elder. We only traveled to Sword King Old Ancestor. Sky King Sword Sect is the most powerful, that is, Sword King Old Ancestor. Sword King Old Ancestor is a sword cultivator, and the restrictions are arranged. The most powerful ones will not be more powerful than their own divine ability. There should be no problem. After hearing Caoyi's answer, Ling Longtian looked at Wei Suo. I am going to open this stone tower. Wei Suo nodded and glanced at Feng Wukang. Under the surging sound, the torrent of two transparent flying swords appeared first outside the trio, and then Wei Suo sacrificed the indestructible clean bottle. This was also the sacrifice of ancient cyan oil lamp, which sprinkled a piece of cyan divine splendor. Ancient cyan oil lamp is very mysterious, controls, and powerful energy. A piece of cyan divine splendor emits a surging sound, such as the same handle shank, cutting the stone tower skin layer by layer. Without any surprise, the entire stone tower was cut down in layers, revealing the inside. Leaf. Inside, there was a bone sitting on the plate, and there was a stone case in front. That's. The eyes of Wei Suo and others were first attracted by a pill bottle and an ancient talisman on the stone case in front of the bone. Ancient talisman is also copper green, like jade, but has been exhausted by powerful energy. In the next pill bottle, there is a reddish halo floating in it, shining in it. At first glance, it is obviously a spirit pellet, but this spirit pellet is suspended in the pill bottle, giving the impression of a star. Divine Mystic 5th Layer Spire Pellet, the legacy of the Great Treasure, is definitely not a product. After Wei Suo and Ling Longtian glanced at each other, Tru Yuan cautiously explored and saw that there was no reaction. Wei Suo took pill bottle in front of him. There is also weirdness in this corpse. Ling Longtian said this at once. The bones of the plate are already decaying. If this person is the same as Cao Yi, it is Sword King Old Ancestor, and its divine ability is not shown on the meat that is falling behind. But the eccentric smell that Ling Longtian and Wei Suo felt before, but couldn't judge what it was revealed from the abdomen position of the bone. Wei Suo reached out and waved the shape-shift great art on the bones like a butterfly, revealing the things inside the bones. Another coffin, green-robed old man has long been called out by Wei Suo, and when he sees the contents of the reveals, he can't help but send out a surging sound. Inside the decaying bones, it is a crystal coffin. This crystal enamel is only 1 foot long, crystal clear, bright yellow, smooth outside, and does not see any rune. The corpse is inside the coffin, but it is understandable, but there is actually a coffin in the body, which is really strange. Is it Emperor Heart crystal coffin? Ling Longtian's face immediately showed a look of uncertainty. Ka. The crystal pimple was photographed by Wei Suo from the bones and suspended in front of him. The crystal scorpion's breath is very strange, it seems to have a strange power energy, but there is no divine mystic, true immortal chi exposed, giving Wei Suo's feeling is similar to Yu Huafan's milky white nucleus, very strange God's secret place, which makes him a little afraid to shake. Emperor Heart crystal coffin? Do you recognize this thing? After taking the picture, he asked Ling Longtian. You open this thing and look at it. Ling Longtian stared at crystal Xiaoyan. Wei Suo nodded, Tru Yuan agitated, and almost no effort was used to open the lid of the crystal symbol. Sure enough, Emperor Heart crystal coffin. I can't think of this thing actually falling into the current Sky Sword section. Just glanced at it, Ling Longtian said directly. What is the origin of this thing? Wei Suo and Feng Wukang and green-robed old man also saw at first glance that there is nothing in the crystal scorpion, and there is no rune or pattern, but there is a heart-shaped depression inside, like natural generation. It is not artificially carved. A strange crystal stone, with a comet falling, the natural manifestation has a heart-shaped fruit. This fruit creates a venerable emperor character. The crystal stone shell has also been found to have a peculiar powerful energy, polished in the shape of a small dragonfly, called Emperor Heart crystal coffin. Ling Longtian explains, this Emperor Heart crystal coffin can help the cultivator with insufficient cultivation base, and the controls have no shape-shift great art and the shake-shift. Great art great treasure. The powerful energy of this thing will also be consumed. I didn't expect it to exist now, and it has not completely consumed light. Created a true immortal? Can you make cultivator controls without shape-shift great art? Wei Suo and green-robed old man and Feng Wukang are very surprised. Although the fruit directly makes a normal cultivator break through to true immortal, it is absolutely impossible, but the effect is certainly amazing, and the controls are not shape-shift great art. The powerful energy is really unique. That is, if I get a real immortal artifact, if I don't have shapeshift great art controls in my cultivation base, but with this thing, can I control? Wei Suo couldn't help but ask. This thing should still have a lot of powerful energy left, as far as it is not enough. I got it when I got it. Ling Longtian saw Wei Suo one eye, to Wei Suo now base, if the hand of the real cultivation immortal, estimated also can artifact, and ordinary controls are the extreme Dao immortal armament, emperor armament above the Tifact, all of which are of astonishing great treasure great art domain shapeshift great art great treasure, a hit will consume not knowing how many true yuan. This Emperor Heart Crystal Coffin the remaining powerful energy is not enough contract. Ols this level of shapeshift great art great treasure, but did not know. How is this thing used? Wei Suo simply asked, this strange thing, maybe the secret place will be useful in the future. Because he saw divine might of the king of venerable emperor in ruins, the level of immortal armament, with his current cultivation base, it is estimated that there is no shapeshift great art. Even if it is obtained, it is estimated that he was the township shapeshift great art is the same, no shapeshift great art. Like the ordinary shapeshift great art, put true yuan into it, and then push the energetic energy that comes out into the shapeshift great art great treasure. After Ling Longtian completely recognized the object, he lost interest and focused on the other pill bottle with spirit pellet. Wei Suo nodded and did not talk nonsense, and the Emperor Heart Crystal Coffin was collected, followed by a true UN point, and the pill bottle cap with a vermilion spirit pellet suspended inside. Shua. What they didn't expect was that the bottle was just opened, and the medicine pill inside was shot directly from it, flying at high speed at an amazing speed. In a moment, it turned into a vermilion escape light. What is this medicine pill? Even psychic? Will you escape? Green-robed old man stunned, and the great treasure was called. And Wei Suo is also a slight glimpse, knowing that this spirit pellet is definitely not the same. Almost at the moment of reaction, he stepped out and immediately launched the void walking step shapeshift great art. Just one step, Wei Suo is already in front of spirit pellet, holding this vermilion spirit pellet in his hand. Good-looking novels, tell your friends. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 897. Chapter 897 thoroughly sweeps. SS. Wei Suo is like a heavenly dragon, soak a deep breath, and it has a great treasure's surging sound in the air. When the spirit pellet started, a lot of silky and intense Austria chi poured into his naked body, which made his spirit vibrate. It's just the sporadic penetration of spiritual chi, which gives him the feeling that divine consciousness grows. It's definitely a very amazing rank, and there must be a goodin that adds divine consciousness. This. At a glance at the spirit pellet, Wei Suo couldn't help but take a deep breath. This is a mysterious pigeon egg, the giant treasure. The surface is as crystal clear as the vermilion great treasure, and inside, it is a lingzi with a vermilion divine light, which is shaking a force at the moment. But there is no shapeshift great art to break free, and it is very disappointing. Just this moment, both Ling Longtian and Feng Wukang caught up. What goodin, even if it has a spirituality, will automatically escape? Feng Wukang is also extremely surprised. This level of goodin, he has never heard of it. Now the most top-grade alchemist, even if you get the world to great treasure, it is impossible to refine such a goodin. True the immortal, Ling Longtian saw the lifelike vermilion lingzi in the vermilion goodin, and suddenly screamed a surging sound. After she recognized Emperor Heart Crystal Coffin, she was also used to it. It seems that Emperor Heart Crystal Coffin is nothing to her previous contact, but the spirit of Spirit Pellet is enough to shock her. Degree. What kind of spirit pellet is this? Wei Suo asked immediately. You put it back in the pill bottle first, in case the medicine is lost. The material of the pill bottle should be very special. Ling Longtian didn't answer Wei Suo's words right away, but she said this quickly. Wei Suo didn't dare to have any scorn. put the still struggling vermilion spirit pellet into the original pill bottle and put the cap on it. The pill bottle looks like ordinary jade on the surface, but the inner material is obviously the same as that of Ling Longtian. It has a black gold glow inside, which makes spirit pellet not touch it. I don't know about the utility of the naked body, but you can't let the outside world know that you have this medicine pill on it. After seeing Wei Suo picking up the spirit pellet, Ling Longtian said, "This spirit pellet is said to have been refining with some kind of sage, and it was designed to break through true immortal spirit pellet. The Sword King old ancestor must have prepared this dan, ready to break through true immortal, but certainly some places are not ready, and did not finally set foot on the true immortal road, so this spirit pellet stayed." Wei Suo's heart was shocked. It's spirit pellet when it's broken through true immortal realm. I won't say this to medicine pill. Feng Wukang vision flickers slightly, out of surging sound. He is also very shocked. The cultivation world has not heard of true immortal for a long time, and the things involving true immortal represent a completely near virtual level, but when Ling Longtian speaks, his eyes are it was a moment on him, and he naturally knew the meaning of Ling Longtian. This level of things, even the divine mystic fourth layer, the great treasure of the fifth layer, will be shot to fight. In today's cultivation world, although I have not heard of a breakthrough to true immortal, but the cultivation base reaches above the divine mystic fourth layer, it is not without. The Wangwei Eye of Heavenly Emperor Dao has been repaired to divine mystic fourth layer. Other great treasure land, according to Wei Suo's judgment, there must be a great treasure above the divine mystic fourth layer. Fellow Daoist Wei, Imho, I see you, mortal body turns into wood, it's hard to reverse, but it's not completely horrified. On the contrary, it's a lot of it seems to be ready for subsequent cultivation, even against heavenly tribulation things. After saying that sentence, Feng Wukang also looked directly at Wei Suo and asked, "Do you still have the shapeshift great art?" To tell the truth, I know a possible shapeshift great art, but the chances of success are not great treasure, and it is very likely that it will fall, so I will send a message to let you meet me. You are among the people I know, I think I can believe, and I have enough background and strength to protect my only friends and relatives. Wei Suo looked at Feng Wukang and said calmly, "And I know that the side of shapeshift great art needs an amazing amount of monster core and spiritual herb with water spirit Yuan Qi. I want to take Sky Sword sect, and not only for the purpose of reporting great treasure, but also an important reason, I want to collect these resources." So it is. Feng Wukang's brow wrinkled slightly and immediately looked at Wei Suo and asked, "Has fellow Daoist Wei already got the water attribute monster core and the spicy herb?" "It's still a part of great treasure." Wei Suo shook his head. "I am going to pick up some of the squares and then go to true martial section." "You still want to attack the true martial sect gate?" "True martial sect has Su Shenjun sitting, and as far as I know, some of the restrictions and heritage shape great art of true martial sect are more powerful than Sky Sword sect, and true martial sect and mystic wind sect are now in the league. Yes, Yencheng heavy but not dangerous. The shapeshift great art is said to be the most important to meet the difficulties, it is likely to be shot again." Feng Wukang's face suddenly appeared very dignified, and immediately shook his head. "I don't recommend you to attack true martial section. If you can trust me, I will go back to Jade Heaven sect and do my best to collect water for you. Attribute monster core and spiritual herb, but I also want you to give me a promise." Wei Suo looked at Feng Wukang and said, "What promise?" "If you can get through this robbery, become an ally with my Jade Heaven section." Feng Wukang looked at Wei Suo and said seriously, "Well, as long as you are allied with me, I naturally will not refuse a super great sect as a friend." Wei Suo looked at Feng Wukang and smiled slightly. "If you can get through this, I think Heavenly Profound Continent and Cloud Spirit Continent, I am afraid that there are not a few sects who dare to be enemies with you. How can we not dare?" Feng Wukang couldn't help but smile and said, "If this is the case, then swear by the palm of your hand." Wei Suo reached out and crossed the intercourse with Feng Wukang, which was an oath. "Well, I will return to Jade Heaven sect now. Would you like me to get back in a few days?" Where do you meet at secret place? Feng Wukang also has no nonsense, ready to get up and leave. He is naturally very clear. Wei Suo has not much time left. After 8 days you rush to Immortal Armor City. As long as I have not fallen, I will contact you. During this time, I will not easily reveal whereabouts, and you should not tell anyone about this news, including your master. If others know that I still have a chance, I am afraid that it will attract many powerful enemies. Wei Suo looked at Feng Wukang. Feng Wukang nodded and no longer said anything. When the figure moved, it turned into a cyan streamer and shot the Sky Sword sect. Damn swindler, are you trying to test him? Looking at Feng Wukang's escape from the escape light, Ling Longtian grinds the sound transmission to Wei Suo's ear. Sky Sword sect. The accumulation of the super sect is amazing. Wei Suo obtains a lot of water attribute monster core and spiritual herb, plus Wei Suo body accumulation of things, estimated should have been almost, and Wei Suo affirmation is good fortune jade decorate good, must immediately use, absolutely impossible to wait until 8 days, are about to fall when, began to use good pond fortune jade. Wei Suo and Feng Wukang say so, must be only temptation. I instinctively this person deserves an intercourse. If he really wants to help me through this robbery, collect the great treasure water attribute monster core for me. It is just like the intercourse of life and death. It is completely trustworthy. Wei Suo nodded. Although he is now very close to the enemy, it does not mean that he does not want to have allies, but the cultivation world itself is a weak and strong food, plundering resources from each other, can be trusted, and there are not many people worth an intercourse. Record the Sword of Sword King Old Ancestor. After talking to Ling Longtian intercourse, Wei Suo returned to the hill below and let Caoyi record the inheritance of Sword King Old Ancestor. Caoyi did not dare to have any violations, and recorded the complete inheritance of Sword King Old Ancestor. The inheritance of Sword King Old Ancestor is called Exterminate Self Sword Scripture, and the sword is also extremely astonishing, including the heaven level of the top rank of True Yuan Gong Shapeshift Great Art and 2 amazing secret place. This door Exterminate Self Sword Scripture True Yuan Work Shapeshift Great Art Stunning Secret place is True Yuan thickness is staggering. True Yuan thickness is nearly 1 times higher than Water Emperor Sun Swallowing Secrets, that is to say, if Wei Suo has no other luck, without Heavenly Dragon Star Body Tempering Technique, even Immortal Root 5 Secrets, Double Divine Mystic Shapeshift Great Art Phase, the True Yuan thickness within the naked body is similar to that of the Shapeshift Great Art to Divine Mystic A layer. This True Yuan thickness is against the enemy, and the endurance is amazing. And one of the 2 amazing secret places in Exterminate Self Sword Scripture, one of which is death. This Dao technique Shapeshift Great Art is obviously not great treasure for Wei Suo, so Wei Suo did not look at it. Another Only My Heart Sword was that Wei Suo couldn't help but understand it. This Only My Heart Sword, in the first stage, is the ability to draw down the Shapeshift Great Art powerful energy, and the flying sword into a naked body, is equivalent to a metal attribute, Shapeshift Great Art. According to the scripture annotation, powerful energy is also equivalent to heaven level top ranks attacking Shapeshift Great Art, and MT Sumi Great Lifting is the same level. And if the powerful energy of the cultivator can reach a certain level, it can condense a sword chi, and seal it with a heart and even a cultivator, and make an amazing distance. Wei Suo also carefully interrogated Caoyi, knowing that Sword King Old Ancestor was directly folding a green pine as a sword, so the cyan wooden sword was not a real sword, but Sword King Old Ancestor used to carry him out. Sword chi is the embodiment of his sword chi. And his sword chi is so fast that he can even penetrate the void, which should be his amazing cultivation base, plus the unique insight into the greatest treasure Great Art Field. The scripture of Only My Heart Sword is very mysterious. Next, while Ling Longtian, green-robed old man and nearly 1,000 cultivators continue to scrape, Wei Suo almost literally tries to figure out what it means. 2 days later, the hill of Sky Sword sect was almost slashed and completely dug. Of the nearly 1,000 cultivators, many were cultivators that were scared, and many of them were also great treasures. I will kill my cultivator against Sky Sword section. The degree of scraping these people makes Wei Suo feel awkward. Even the temples are completely shattered. Many Sky Sword sect are hidden in pots. At the foot of the bed and in the dark space on the wall, all the small places were searched out. There are strange places in the atmosphere. Wei Suo and Ling Longtian have already explored 2 times. In the past 2 days, Wei Suo and Ling Longtian have had no place to explore. However, Wei Suo and Ling Longtian did not leave. After half a day, outside the gate of Sky Sword sect, there was a fireworks, faintly condense a strange pool. Let's go. Seeing this fireworks, Wei Suo let all the cultivators leave, while constantly playing a round of lightning waning moon. In the gaze of all the cultivators in the periphery, Sky Sword sect has been passed down for thousands of years, and the hills of the houses are all behind Wei Suo, and the seats collapsed. Sky Sword sect was all flattened and thoroughly leveled. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 898. Chapter 898 also wants to die. Sky Sword sect's hills collapsed behind Wei Suo's, and many of the earth fires in the hills rushed out, and the flames were in the sky. Wei Suo was in the void, and the red clouds and the silver divine light lingered like real devils. Bookmark. It's too embarrassing, even a little foundation does not leave Sky Sword section. Unfortunately, he will eventually want mortal body turns into wood, otherwise the resources of the entire super sect will definitely become the first person in heavenly profound continent, and may be able to achieve true immortal. Many people beat their chests. Sky Sword sect was Wei Suo completely flattened. Even if there is no good things to scrape clean, they go in and search. It is difficult. Great treasure increase, and many people see Wei Suo's divine might is not live. Psi, from some cultivator shapeshift great art from the scene. Now even can see Wei Suo's skin slowly become yellow. Canthus even appeared wood grain. Mortal body turns into wood. Obviously more serious. Just a few days, must fall. Sure enough. Wei Suo is basically no matter what the onlookers cultivator, he constantly plays lightning waning moon, the completely naked body will be clear. In his current situation, great treasure about 30 hits per shot, will cause lightning waning moon nearly double powerful energy a blow. I will pass you a secret place shapeshift great art, you can safely leave with this technique, from the Sky Sword sect, the shapeshift great art and the shapeshift great art, you don't circulate, and the husband is not guilty. You should know the truth of sin, you should first find the place closed door cultivation. I hope you will have great treasure achievements in the future. With nearly 1,000 cultivators swept out of Sky Sword sect, Cao Yi has been killed by Wei Suo, and Wei Suo has directly transmitted transforming as one wishes secrets to nearly 1,000 cultivators. Even if the achievement and virtue sect master has been mind's body got the shapeshift great art that perceives the secret place technique, and there are cultivators in the secret place. Using this shapeshift great art, it is definitely not clear at the time. If any secret place is widely spread, it will soon be targeted by shapeshift great art or shapeshift great art. The widely spread secret place will become worthless and will gradually become two great treasures secret place, and some concealing aura technique, are not seen by themselves, but after the targeted aura determining technique shapeshift great art came out, these shapeshift great art became very common. The defensive technique of strong great treasure great art and attack shapeshift great art, which is pure powerful energy, but the occult and so on shapeshift great art, relying on a number of origin chi rules of change. As long as some of these origin chi rules are studied, even if the brilliant, divine mystic great treasure cannot shapeshift great art, will be in some low-level targeted surgery shapeshift great art and shapeshift great art device without hiding. Many of the shapeshift great art in the cultivation world, the recipients will not be circulated at all, and for this reason, the shapeshift great art, which no one wants to be good at, has been researched and found weaknesses. This nearly 1,000 cultivator natural great treasure know this truth, but no matter transforming as one wishes, secrets in the future may be reduced to 3-stream surgery, but now is still the real hidden breath secret place shapeshift great art, extremely useful, and from the Sky Sword sect, everyone has been incredibly extreme resources, everyone is like a great treasure library, everyone knows the truth of self-preservation, no way suo this Modi said, is for them to consider, do not. Then a Sky Sword sect gate, is the Sky Sword sect remnants cultivator or envy kill great treasure. So nearly 1,000 cultivators are extremely grateful to Weisuo, and most of the cultivators are thinking that if there are achievements in the future, they will surely report, but these cultivators think that Weisuo is destined to fall, so they are only thankful. Great treasure surging sound vowed that if he had a difficult time with Weisuo's friends and relatives, they must use to go through water and tread on fire. I will completely smash this drowning water, and then you will mix it inside and take the opportunity to leave. Weisuo sound transmission into the ears of these cultivators, directly with these cultivators to the wilderness outside the heavenly sword, countless on top of the cultivator. In a surging sound, Weisuo directly launched the black copper powerful energy of the invisible eye and the indestructible clean bottle. The range of dozens of miles was filled with night and blazing white, and all perceptions were completely blocked. The cultivators that have previously received the Weisuo sound transmission are all heartwarming, not panic, landing, and mixed into the cultivator group. These cultivators outside of Heavenly Sword are mostly unknown to each other, and following Weisuo's offensive of Sky Sword sect, they have all concealed their true description. At this moment, they are completely confused and mixed in. Nothing at all. Shapeshift great art resolution. Weisuo with indestructible clean bottle forward, led hundreds of thousands of the cultivator completely into a chaos, and he is all the way to the just that the fireworks out of the direction, but instantly locked Tugu Yun breath, True Yun under a roll, it rolled to his side, and then directly with indestructible clean bottle installed himself and Ling Longtian, as well as the Tugu Yun to the news. After a moment of circling, Weisuo launched the void walking step shapeshift great art, which crossed the void and disappeared into the sky outside the Sky Sword sect. The materials of Good Fortune Jade Pond are all in place and are already in the middle of the arrangement. It should be completed in one day. Tugu Yun immediately informed Weisuo of the Good Fortune Jade Pond news, just placed in a secret place outside the heavenly scale city. All right. I heard that Tugu Yun said that Weisuo was completely relieved. Simply launch the void walking step shapeshift great art, in the opposite direction of the heavenly scale city, take a great treasure circle, and finally use the shapeshift great art to hide the breath, use the ordinary flying shaft shape great art, and wind around heavenly scale city. After a full day, Weisuo and Ling Longtian and Tugu Yun quietly landed in a secret place barren mountain of more than 3,000 miles from heavenly scale city. This barren hill is very cloudy, with a strong miasma entanglement, called Chaoshan Mountain, and there is nothing to produce, so the usual cultivator is rare. After falling in a secret place valley on the west side of the secret place, I saw it under the lead of Tugu Yun, and Weisuo and others swept in from the crack of the mountain naked body covered by a secret place tree vine. After plunging nearly 1,000 feet into the naked body of the mountain, it was violent and cheerful. A huge cave was dug in the mountainside. There were bright pearls on the mountain wall, and the inside was bright. A cyan soundproof glare isolated all the things inside. There are more than 20 cultivator, is busy in it, a strong medicinal fragrance, filled in it, the cave is in the middle, colorful, arranged a colorful jade pond. Brother Wei. Tugu Yun had already sent a message at the time of the plunging, so Weisuo had just seen the inside scene, and yes Yao Zheng and Yegu Wei and the hunchback old treasurer had already been very excited to welcome. At this moment, all heavenly profound continent knows that Weisuo has broken Sky Sword sect and scraped the entire Sky Sword sect. How is the Good Fortune Jade Pond laid out? Wei Suo hasn't exported yet, but Tu Yun can't help but ask. Good Fortune Jade Pond has been completely arranged, only the last few liquids are still being tampered with, and at most half an hour, all the liquids can be made. Yegyue also refused to say anything else, and said quickly, now they check over and over again to see if there are any mistakes in the secret place. Wei Suo and Ling Longtian swept into the front of the Good Fortune Jade Pond. Decorated Good Fortune Jade Pond is a number of old men, the number of elderly are decorated. Shapeshift Great Art Array are restrictions. Great Treasure Home. Wei Suo and Ling Longtian carefully read, found that this Good Fortune Jade decorate without any problems, 6-color jade all pond guangua circulation, although there is no any liquid infusion, but Good Fortune Jade Pond in the dissemination of Sinorama, but has made Good Fortune Jade Pond filled with a pool of smart 6-color jade juice. Although the old men arranged the Good Fortune Jade Pond in this secret place according to the requirements of Yegyue and others, they did not know what the arrangement was for, and felt the obvious divine mystic atmosphere on Wei Suo. These old people have some reactions, and their faces are discolored. Fellow deist, thank you for helping me arrange the spool. Just this restrictions, I wonder if you can arrange it? Wei Suo didn't say much at this time, just point a piece of jade talisman to the front of these old people. Heavenly sword is broken, a few old people didn't dare to have any scorn. After taking over jade talisman, they couldn't help but look at each other. Then one of them was white but white, but the old man with red face looked at it. Wei Suo nodded and said with awe, I have told my predecessors that as long as there is such a band material, I should arrange it. These materials should be adequately arranged. Wei Suo reached out and pointed the two treasure-receiving pockets to the faces of the old people. I just don't know how long it will take, can it be completed in half an hour? Half hour, a few old people looked at each other. Immediately, the old man with white hair took the lead and smiled and shook his head. With my ability, I am afraid I will have an hour at the earliest. If the master of the rune is completed by me, what else can you do in half an hour? Wei Suo looked at the old people and said. The rest of this, we should be able to complete within half an hour. A few old people squinted and nodded. Damn swindler, you don't want others to discover that you have survived this, and eventually achieved double divine mystic, what are you going to do? Ling Longtian sharpening teeth, speaking with sound transmission Wei Suo's ears. She knows that this heavenly sword is one of the hills that Wei Suo gets on Sky Sword Sect, which can make many variation scenery that are caused by the sharp fluctuations of origin chi not appear. With this restrictions, even if the final step of Wei Suo divine mystic is successful, there will be no amazing sky. Nothing, I want others to think that I am degraded. It is much more convenient when it comes to retreating or doing something. Wei Suo sound transmission into the ear of Ling Longtian. Damn swindler, you still want to pretend to die. Ling Longtian took a surging sound, and it seems that Wei Suo's answer was not beyond her expectations. You and the old man help me to check out what I want to use next. Wei Suo directly pointed storage bracelet to her and Yegyue and others. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 899. Chapter 899 Without Shapeshift Great Art Blocking. Excited Dragon. In the True Martial Sect Gate, True Martial Sect Master Su Shenjun heard the news of Wei Suo leaving Sky Sword Sect. A legacy of the True Martial Sect ancestors, even the Heavenly Dragon, which can be killed by Heavenly Dragon, is stimulated, powerful energy is condensed, and the seamless light of the light, inner chi, begins to oscillate above the gate of True Martial Section. This True Martial Sect's heritage shapeshift great art can only be stimulated once, and it is a powerful energy process that lasts for one day. At the moment, in the gate of True Martial Sect, Su Shenjun, who ordered the activation of the device, had a dry face and a white face without a trace of blood. The mountain door of Mystic Wind Sect has been completely closed, and all the surrounding are suspended with transparent wind blades. The sky is screaming, and the two green dragons are looming from time to time. Several devastating inner qis, constantly mingled from the gates of Mystic Wind sect, swayed the world. Wei Suo left Sky Sword sect, whether it was True Martial sect or Mystic Wind sect, it was extremely nervous, waiting for Wei Suo's to commit at any time. This is Deng Tianjin Sang. IDS _crew first name Commonwealth 26. There are actually 3. Emerald Bodhi, Leaflet Gold, Water God Zoisha, IDS _crew first name Commonwealth 26. IDS _crew first name Commonwealth 26. IDS crew first name Commonwealth 26. Heavenly Scale City. A group of old men are going crazy in the cave of the giant great treasure inside the mountain. The old man is Yes Yaozheng, and others used the amazing spiritual stones and even the high-level shapeshift great art great treasure. Please help Wei Suo to refine the good fortune jade pond. The Greco treasure part of the concocting pills level and eyesight are both above G-Yat. Before the arrangement of the fine herb used by good fortune jade pond, except for a small number of Yes Yaozheng etal, the great treasure is mostly Wei Suo before the addition of the achievement and virtue sec 7 great treasure secret place. Accumulating income, many of the crops of the herbal herb have already surprised the old man. Now that the artificial herbs of these levels on Wei Suo are taken out, the heart of these old men can't stand it anymore. Not to mention the spiritual herb of Deng Tianjin Sang, even the artificial herbs such as the jade bodhi, which has been rare in the world, is unimaginable to the old treasure for these old men. They have no shapeshift great art to imagine, so many amazing spiritual herbs, how come together in one's hands? Are you sure there is no problem with these liquids? At this time, Heavenly Sword has been arranged, and the top of the cave above the good fortune jade pond is like a starry sky, brilliance. All the liquids have been finished, but seeing these old men are going crazy, Wei Suo still a little uneasy. I couldn't help but aggravated the tone and asked for such a sentence, for fear that the attention of these old men was too concentrated on the spiritual herb he was preparing to complete the last step of divine mystic. The refining of these liquids is not difficult. We are absolutely refining according to the prescription, and there will be no mistakes. After hearing the question from Wei Suo's, the old men returned to normal and assured. Inject these liquids into jade pond. Wei Suo did not hesitate to start the old people. After all the prepared liquids were poured into the good fortune jade pond, Wei Suo stepped in. The liquid in the good fortune jade pond is golden yellow, full of a pool, and even the head of Wei Suo's is completely submerged. It is also a layer of 6-color brilliance, like a wave, slowly rolling, giving people a kind of very wonderful feeling. Wei Suo feels that the spirit of the 8 sides is like a tidal wave, and it is washed on him. This good fortune jade pond is amazing, like a shapeshift great art great treasure. After the injection of the liquid, it is completely irritated and shocked. The unique powerful energy of the stock seems to have countless current surges, and the liquid is constantly oscillated to the most subtle corners of his naked body. And how was it? Feeling useful? Ling Longtian first couldn't help but ask. She knows that it's all about medicine at this time, and it's just blocking the mortal body turns into wood. Unlike the last step of divine mystic, there is no danger at all, just like a bath. It seems to be useful. Wei Suo was very happy. After he felt the power of good fortune jade pond into his naked body, the degree of mortal body turns into wood in his naked body slowed down noticeably. Damn swindler, it seems that your luck is not bad. Ling Longtian sharpening teeth, said. Nice. Yes, Yao Zheng and Ye Wei are both happy. Mortal body turns into wood has completely stopped. After 2 hours, Wei Suo was also happy. He felt that his mortal body turns into wood was completely stagnant. The drug of good fortune jade pond has obviously played a great treasure. This good fortune jade pond is really useful. Ye Wei almost heard the words of Wei Suo and almost burst into tears. This side can really block divine mystic mortal body turns into wood. All the old people were also shocked. They only felt incredible. When Duguyun brought Weisuo, he told Weisuo that he was ready for the 3 days of forgetting Dan. Third, forget the soul Dan is with *** flowers and konjac flowers, such as spiritual herb refining, cultivator no hindrance, but will make cultivator forget the third of the life of the lust. Then this batch of help there decorate the old people will forget this third all the things lust. So Weisuo now use the good fortune jade pond block divine mystic, and there is no cover, these old people have already judged, Weisuo is to do. After more than half an hour, there is a strange and melodious horn surging sound. It should be great shopkeeper Ji, they are here. Duguyun and Yejiaxiu suddenly rejoiced, this is the secret code of a caravan they had previously sent to Cloud Spirit Continent. I will accompany you out. Ling Longtian was afraid of what was coming, and swept out with Duguyun and others. Just after a stick of incense time, magnificent light flashes, a group of people swept in behind the body of Ling Longtian and others. Brother, it is said that nothing happened. I really want to congratulate you. Husband. This group of people is a total of 7 people, namely Jia, Shui Ling Nangong Yuking, Han Weiwei, and Feng Ziu, Zhang Huayu and Yu Shiking. Fortunately, it seems that I can't die for a while. Seeing the arrival of Jia and others, Weisuo was also excited. After saying this, he immediately asked, Yin Liwa and fellow deist Qi, and my rabbit brothers. Elder sister Liwa is afraid that all of us will be together, plus the news you brought us that transforming as one wishes secrets can't be used. She said that her Yun Gong shape-shift great art is unique, and Yin Qi is possible. She was noticed, so she and fellow deist Qi came along the other way, so that even if they were present, they could attract the attention of the other side to their side. However, they have previously left us with a message. According to the agreement, they are now safely staying in the city of Minghui, which is 6 cities away from the city. When you are ready to stay, wait until we are completely okay, then meet again. Senior Li compares elder sister Liwa, and his cultivation base is higher. Elder sister Liwa, who has him, is safer, so we asked him to be with elder sister Liwa. Shui Linger explained to Weisuo right away. This is Shui Linger. At this moment, Shui Linger has recovered its original features. Just like a real fairy, when the dust is removed, the old people also recognize her identity, and it is a burst of air. The guy is so uncomfortable. You can't break through to divine mystic. When Han Weiwei came, I obviously heard that Ling Longtian and Yeguwei and others said Weisuo's lust shape, and now I looked at Weisuo outside Good Fortune Jade Pond, but her tone was relaxed, but her eyes were still obvious. Some nervous. It's normal to be comfortable with a person it's a long time to reunite. Seeing so many national colors, Deo companion, Weisuo also has the urge to jump out of the pool and root them. He deliberately glanced at Han Weiwei's chest. Quietly speaking with sound transmission, how come a lot of great treasure? I bother. You old hooligan. It is still not honest until now. Han Weiwei suddenly turned black, the face was red, and the teeth were cut to the Weisuo sound transmission. Damn swindler. You have to be shameless, you are when we are all air. Ling Longtian was also extremely speechless to Weisuo, sound transmission Weisuo. I am all sound transmission, you can hear it, can you blame me? Weisuo is a shameless sound transmission to Ling Longtian, a thing that doesn't matter to me. At the same time, the sound transmissions of Jia and Nangong Yuking were added. Clever wife, I haven't seen you for a long time. The more you see, the more beautiful you are. Yuking fellow deist, wait for me, let's find the secret place spot together, how about taking a shower? Shua. Jia's jade face is also a blush, and Nangong Yuking is a good-hearted and funny smile on Weisuo. Mother Hummer, listen to it, really wants to vomit. Ling Longtian finally couldn't stand it, turned and swept out. I went to see if there was anything unusual outside. You all have the cultivation base of the heavenly circuit second layer? Is there anything wrong with your West's clean colored glass? Weisuo smiled a little, but he was concerned about Han Weiwei's cultivation base. At this point he can see that the cultivation base of Nangongyuking and Han Weiwei is very god. With the resources he collected from Sect and Sky Sword Sect along the way, it is estimated that it will take a long time to make Nanjanyuking and Han Weiwei a golden core. It's just West's clean-colored glass. The shapeshift great art always makes him somewhat inexplicable. Followed it, no problem, how, you always ask, do you want me to have any accidents, can you change a Dao companion? When he heard Wei Suo ask, Han Weiwei couldn't help but bicker with him. Where is your wife, where can I find it? Wei Suo cried, then deliberately stared at Han Weiwei's awkward snow-white butt and looked at it. Dead rogue, Han Weiwei didn't know what he thought of, and suddenly he was blushing, and he couldn't wait to bite Wei Suo. What about Cloud Spirit Continent now? Next, looking at a few national colors, like a jade-like wife, Wei Suo, who is very tickle, chatted with Jia and others. According to Jia etal, Wei Suo learned that Cloud Spirit Continent was very calm for a while, whether it was Heaven Transformation Cult, Heavenly Emperor Dao, or Immortal Ascension Sect and Achievement and Virtue Section What Action. There are only a few small and medium sects, but the sect master and some old antique level characters have fallen, causing a lot of civil strife. A few sects made the Origin Chi Great Treasure hurt and even split completely. It seems that after solving mortal body turns into wood, I really want to find a place to bubble together. This feeling is really good, before Wei Suo's cultivation base is not enough, and provoke on several levels of sect, always feel the pressure of a day great treasure, as a knife is always on top of the head, even a period of free retreat is not available, but now built Dao Beli Divine Mystic, Heavenly Profound Continent has been almost invincible, no one can have a fatal threat to him, his mood is naturally different. No. But after another hour, Wei Suo's face suddenly changed dramatically. What? Jia and Han Weiwei and others saw the change of look like Wei Suo and were immediately taken aback. Mortal body turns into wood is back, this medicine, Wei Suo's face is very ugly, said a deep breath, said. What? As soon as we heard Wei Suo say, Jia and Han Weiwei and others suddenly turned pale. They knew Wei Suo very well. At first glance, Wei Suo's look at the moment was definitely not a joke. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 900. Chapter 915 comes right. Outside the great treasure door of Ning Danfang, there was no clerk to meet, and Ling Longtian and Long Muxing walked into the great treasure hall, but they saw a red-faced chunky purple-robe old man. A cultivator with a double sword said something, standing next to a young man with dark skin and a godly respect. The cultivator great treasure with double swords is about 30 years old. The unique literary aura of the sword cultivator is extremely strong. It should be a sword. The cultivation base is not weak. There is a cultivation base of the thought division 4th layer. Because Wei Suo is also a sword cultivator, Wei Suo walks in. The attention of the sword cultivator gathers on Wei Suo's for the first time, but just glances at it. The word cultivator is now vision freezes. During this time, Wei Suo got the appearance-changing technique from Shui Linger. Shui Linger had felt sorry for the kindness of Mystic Wind Sect before, and didn't want to send Mystic Wind Sect out. Later, Wei Suo said that it was a rival to Mystic Wind Sect anyway. When the great treasure didn't match the people of Mystic Wind Sect, look at her share and keep it with a blank piece of paper. Linger passed the Dao technique to Wei Suo. At this moment, Wei Suo changed the appearance with this Dao technique, and spiritual chi is not visible outside, but this word cultivator may still have some unique inductions. The first time I feel that Wei Suo's cultivation base is not what he can match. This fellow Daoist, come to me, I want to intercourse, what is it? The old man with chunky purple robe was originally facing Wei Suo. He saw the obvious change of the cultivator with his double sword. The old man was turned around and arched his hand and said hello. The deputy shopkeeper of this workshop. There are some things to be intercourse in the next, but I don't want the rest of the people to know. I wonder if the yellow shopkeeper can talk about it alone. Wei Suo does not move the surging sound color. The sword cultivator with the double sword seems to have nothing to do. Hearing Wei Suo at this moment, he said that after he said the surging sound to the yellow shopkeeper, he left. I don't know what fellow deist wants to intercourse. This name Huang deputy shopkeeper is also a very savvy figure. I can see that Wei Suo's cultivation base is not a trivial matter. I don't dare to neglect. I directly brought Wei Suo 3 people into the quiet room at the back. It was very hot. I want to buy some water attribute spirit pellet, spiritual herb, monster core, how much I want. At the same time, I also want to let you identify a bottle of liquid medicine. Wei Suo is no nonsense, straightforward. How much is there? Wang's deputy counter was suddenly picked up by his own saliva. Wei Suo glanced at him, didn't speak, took out a treasure receiving pocket and clicked on him. Should this be enough? Ahem, Huang deputy took over treasure receiving pocket divine consciousness. This time, it was really slobbered, coughing, and nodding. Enough, enough. This treasure receiving pocket has at least millions of low-grade spiritual stones. Wei Suo before the harvest of the Sky Sword sect all received 2 great sect, a great treasure square city. These spiritual stones is only Wei Suo spiritual with a fraction of the stones, but also not at all Wei Suo body, and the number of extremely amazing, usually have no to the great treasure and the device below the Dao rank. But it's scary enough that these millions of spiritual stones are hand-picked out. Lonely Cold Continent water attribute monster core production is not much. It is estimated that these millions of products of spiritual stones can almost wipe out the water attribute monster core on the city. Water attribute spiritual herb and monster core, etc., without the rank limit. I don't know what kind of liquid medicine fellow deist wants to let us know. Wang's deputy shopkeeper was also a figure who had seen some scenes. After a while, he was calmed down. It's this bottle of things. Wei Suo glanced at Wang's shopkeeper and reached for the golden medicine bottle and ordered it in front of him. Water attribute spiritual herb and monster core can be accepted without the rank restriction. This, just touching the golden medicine bottle at a glance, the face of the yellow deputy shopkeeper suddenly became strange. What? Wei Suo and Ling Longtian suddenly looked at each other. It seems that Wang's treasurer knows this kind of thing. This, Wang's deputy director, burning, and with the words, stopped the golden pill bottle and probed it. After carefully discerning the smell, he couldn't help but smile and look at Wei Suo. It is not the opposite. This bottle of liquid itself should be our own refining. How fellow deist got this bottle? Is there something unexpected about this bottle? What? Wei Suo and Ling Longtian suddenly took a look. Predecessors, I really don't know if this bottle of liquid is refining this condensed square. Long Muxing stayed in the cold sweat immediately, and even the sound transmission to Wei Suo's ears. The yellow deputy shopkeeper knows who made this bottle of refining. Wei Suo and Ling Longtian asked each other after a look. It is difficult to tell. First, I really don't know the origin of the person. Second, all of our shops have rules and can't disclose the information of the intercourse cultivator. Wang's shopkeeper was very embarrassed and looked at Wei Suo. In this case, then I am looking for your course intercourse, and you should not disclose my message to anyone. Wei Suo looked at Wang's shopkeeper and said nothing. Wang's shopkeeper said, "This is nature. Well, I hope that you will not mention anything to me about this bottle of liquid medicine, but there is no such thing." Wei Suo glanced at Wang's shopkeeper and said, "What is this bottle? What is the secret place? Under the next guarantee, this matter will never be mentioned to anyone. I only know that one of these drugs, which is used for the undying dark thing, has the ingredients and effects of the naked body, but it is necessary to find the Chinese treasurer. Fellow deist can wait a moment, I will come to the treasurer." Wang's shopkeeper looked at Wei Suo. Good. Wei Suo did not talk nonsense and nodded. However, after the turn of the yellow deputy shopkeeper, his divine consciousness was completely released, firmly locking the actions of the yellow deputy shopkeeper. Nothing happened. After Wang's shopkeeper walked into the rear Danfang, he immediately asked a man with a clean face and a scent of white robes. This is made with the butterfly monster core and the drunken, weak yang flower and other drugs. Pill recipe is called Jingxia Huashan, which can make the undying dark thing of the great treasure sleep on the 30th. After the old man in white robe walked in, there was no nonsense. After saying hello to Wei Suo and others, he immediately said, "What can be released in advance for the drug's potency?" Wei Suo looked at the old man in the white robe. "Would you like to add the ancient jade to the undying dark thing that is fascinated by this medicine? Will it affect the effect of the ancient jade?" "The ancient jade is only awakened with the thunder." The old man in the white robe flashed some surprised eyes. It seems strange that Wei Suo knows this. "My liquid medicine will not affect the effect of the ancient jade. I can also use my refining soul to dispel the medicine. Undying dark thing wakes up. Then you can use these two liquids quickly." Wei Suo looked at the old man in white robe and continued to ask, "Hua treasurer, what do you think are the two ways to control undying dark thing? It's not that I boast. In contrast, it should be better for me to use these two liquids." The old man in the white robe sighed and said, "My refining soul can be used to control the time of the undying dark thing waking up according to the amount of liquid medicine that is pumped in. The wake of the thunder, the time is fixed. Great treasure, half stick of incense time." After a slight pause, the old man in white robe added, "The two liquids are about a day or so. If I want that undying dark thing to sleep for a long time and want to use it, then there is no question of drug resistance in this kind of golden liquid. Can you refine it at one time?" Wei Suo looked at the old man in white robe. "This kind of target for undying dark thing divine soul is not a drug for the body. But there is no drug resistance. It is just that the material on hand is limited. It is estimated that only 4 bottles can be refining, which can be more than 120 days." The old man in white robe replied. "If this is the case, then how can I ask the Chinese treasurer to help me refine these two drugs? I just hope that this matter is completely confidential and will not be known to anyone." Wei Suo looked at the old man in white robe and said it in a positive color. "You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 901. Chapter 901. Stepping Out. Divine Mystic. Final Step. A dark green liquid was poured into the Good Fortune Jade Pond. According to the formula, the liquids made from the 3 kinds of spicy herb and true immortal bones of grass medicinal, green medlar, and Morocco have no slight change in color. True immortal's cheekbones are still white as divine jade, and there are countless tiny spots flashing inside. If there are countless stars, the appearance looks more fundamental than before. Nothing different. All the people were extremely nervous. When the liquid was poured into the Good Fortune Jade Pond, there was no surging sound in the entire cave. Especially Ji Ya and Han Wei and others. It is the heart that has been tightened. Must be useful. Ah! Mother Hummer, I am so distressed by divine mystic, and there are so many dazzling Dao companion. Wei Suo is suddenly a surging sound. Great treasure called. I really have no interest. Ling Longtian is extremely speechless, sharpening teeth. Is it really not working? Wei Suo's face was white, and after the dark green liquid was poured into Good Fortune Jade Pond, it seemed that there was no reaction at all. The color has changed. Suddenly, Han Wei screamed involuntarily. The color has changed. Wei Suo, who already felt that he was really finished this time, heard Han Wei's surging sound, and his eyes suddenly greeted with great treasure. I saw Good Fortune Jade Pond. The golden yellow liquid has become a little purple gold at this moment. And how was it? Is there any change in the potency? Several old people who were obviously obsessed with Dao of alchemy suddenly felt a shock, and immediately asked Wei Suo. Is available, it seems to be really useful. Wei Suo suddenly screamed in surprise. At this moment, he suddenly felt that the surrounding medicine seemed to be cool, like spring rain, and his mortal body turns into wood speed was obviously slowed down. Really useful, Han Weiwei's naked body shook and screamed out. Her body was almost out of strength and couldn't stand. Useful and useful, haha, don't you want to useless, let your husband hang up. Wei Suo is very excited and his medicine is getting stronger and stronger, like mortal body turns into wood. It will soon be completely stagnant. Han Weiwei's tears flowed down. You don't want to be guilty. Ling Longtian stunned Wei Suo and said, when you are completely effective, you will be so proud. Well, I can't do it wrong. Fast and fast, don't use it, it's useful. Wei Suo immediately asked God to worship Buddha. It stopped completely. After a moment, Wei Suo trembled and he felt his mortal body turns into wood completely stop under the curb of the drug. Ka. Suddenly, Wei Suo felt himself inside the naked body, a secret place, a subtle, fully wooden meridian, suddenly split, like the same piece of wood cracking, and with the emergence of new shoots, the dead wood is reborn, and the renewed vitality, and inner chi has a very great treasure change. Useful and useful, Wei Suo is a little bit excited about this. Brother Wei, really works. Ye Zheng's fists were pinched with ka, very excited. Wei Suo nodded for a while, and the water in the good fortune jade pond surging sound. Ka, the first secret place, the most subtle meridian is reversed from the state of mortal body turns into wood. Then, many secret places and fine meridians begin to reverse. Then, many of the more precious treasure meridians and the wooded parts of the bones began to reverse. This kind of party can really reverse mortal body turns into wood. It seems that the most important thing is the origin chi in the true immortal bone, otherwise the rest of the potency can only blocked, there is no reversal at all. The old people of several refining drugs are also very excited, because the solution to mortal body turns into wood has never been done in the tens of thousands of years of cultivation world. Dead rogue, Han Weiwei's tears can't stop. Ji Ya patted her back, but her tears fell out. This should not be finished. Half an hour later, Wei Suo wiped the cold sweat in good fortune jade pond and made a victory gesture to Ji Ya and Han Weiwei. The reversal of mortal body turns into wood has not stopped. The wooded part of his naked body has completely cracked, and the conversion is near, and the drug is not exhausted. Can you not be so embarrassed? This time you are still like this. As a result, Wei Suo wiped the cold sweat in the good fortune jade pond, and the gesture of victory was very cumbersome, and suddenly it was a skunk for everyone. Wei Suo is alive again. But after half an hour, Wei Suo couldn't help but make this gesture. His body has been completely transformed, and his inner vision is up, and the naked body is crystal clear like agate, exuding a very mysterious atmosphere. Shua. 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 Among his guilt, there seems to be a piece of the gods flashing, the vitality and essence of a giant treasure, revealing from his bone marrow and guilt, I feel that there is a bottomless hole in my naked body, and there is no more feeling of true UN. At the same time, he feels that every part of his naked body is filling a strong great treasure, even if there is no divine root of primordial beginning divine wood. I am afraid that if I am riddled with guilt, I will not die, and will grow slowly. Divine mystic realms body, the naked body contains amazing spiritual chi. It seems that I really built myself into a great treasure, an amazing spicy herb, but this spicy herb is not the flesh. The wood of the dead wood, the strong great treasure and the amazing changes. Oh! The medicinal pool water in the good fortune jade pond suddenly violently oscillated, causing countless rays of light. The final step of divine mystic is about to begin. Wei Suo, who just made a victory gesture, immediately called Ling Longtian a surging sound great treasure. At the moment, he felt that the original origin chi, which was blocked because of his mortal body turns into wood, started again, and countless unimaginable pounds. Origin chi, and all the temperament in his flesh, began to flow in his naked body along a mysterious trajectory and began to infuse his heart arteries. Box. Almost in an instant, Wei Suo's body quickly dried up, and the pool water in the entire medicine pool formed a whirlpool. It is drawn into Wei Suo's naked body. I do. Wei Suo's eyes were all bulging out, and several water spirit Yuan Qi suddenly came out from the top of his head. The two divine mystic in his naked body seemed to instantly become two new stars, two bottomless pits, and he has the feeling of being sucked into a corpse in an instant. Shua. Without a slight pause, Ling Longtian reached out and cut 3 pieces of Dengtian ginseng and the strip from the mountain river stone. The lotus-like white of the equivalent to the 8 water attribute monster core. The spiritual roots broke into the water spirit Yuan Qi emerging from the head of Wei Suo. What is this unknown spiritual herb, which is such an amazing water spirit Yuan Qi? Manifestation divine mystic, it's so amazing to collect origin Qi, no wonder you have to prepare so many amazing herbal herbs. All the elderly present were also unaware of the cuts made in the mountains and rivers. Inexplicable spiritual herb, just the sight in front of them, completely shocked them. If Wei Suo usually studies, it would take a lot of time to refining these things, but now Wei Suo takes the last step of this divine mystic, the naked body. In the air, with amazing pumping and scouring power, just a few breaths of time, I saw 3 strains of heavenly golden mulberry and the inexplicable spiritual herb comparable to the level 8 monster core. All washed into a strand of origin Qi, inhaled inside the naked body. Shua. Ling Longtian has no stop, and has more than 50 artificial herbs such as lobelia, cucurbit, and water god zoysia, and has produced more than 40 high-level water attribute monster cores. A spiral spirit sparkling spicy herb and a sleek monster core are suspended from the top of Wei Suo's. The real great treasure is shining and touching. Just a little tea time, these spiritual herbs and water attribute monster core were all refining into spiritual Qi. Shua. 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 Ling Longtian opens a treasure receiving pocket directly, and each treasure receiving pocket has tens of thousands of water attribute monster cores, directly thousands of water attribute monster cores. Enter the top of Wei Suo's. The unfavorable origin Qi swayed from Wei Suo's and was repeatedly hit by Shui Ling Er. This secret place is an inaccessible barren hill. No one has found that the miasma that originally filled the mountain has become more and more intense and has expanded more and more. Many original. The trees and flowers that can withstand miasma are completely dead. So much, not enough, no wonder divine mystic great treasure can be a divine ability, it can collect countless resources, but on the divine mystic, every first layer's cultivation base is still. It is like going to heaven. Breaking through divine mystic first layer consumes so much resources, divine mystic great treasure can cultivation, what it consumes is really amazing, on sight. All the old people can see it straight. Boom. Dang. After 6 or 7,000 ordinary water attribute monster cores, Wei Suo's naked body suddenly heard a surging sound like a variety of sounds. There is a great treasure again, heaven overflowing river scroll is also advanced. At this moment, I was afraid that in the mountainside, origin Qi crashed too hard and broke the layout, so Wei Suo did not release divine mystic, but he clearly felt at the moment. Come, after so many amazing spiritual Qi, his 2 divine mystic bodies, a fierce shock in the throne, once again great treasure, more congeal, while he. The powerful energy of heaven overflowing river scroll is also a sudden increase. The essence of divine mystic is like a volcanic burst that collapses in it. It is this feeling that lets Wei Suo know what he is doing now. Powerful energy, definitely more powerful than when attacking Sky Sword Sect. Not enough. But the origin Qi, which he needed for the two divine mystic bodies, was amazing, even surpassing Wei Suo's previous expectations. All of the water attribute monster cores are played. After refining, it is still like a bottomless pit. Pa. Ling Longtian shot divine phoenix stone pellet, a spurt of amazingly powerful volatility that flowed out of the hole she had made on the stone. A fluffy gold, red glow, like countless phoenixes, flies in the caves. The strength of this divine phoenix stone pellet is so strong that it glows out. Divine phoenix stone pellet. Dear God! Even this kind of magic medicine has it? An old man recognized the divine phoenix stone pellet until this time, giving a gust of surging sound. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 902. Chapter 902 has passed through the world. Divine phoenix stone pellet's liquid is extremely amazing. Every drop is a stunning treasure. After Wei Suo puts the medicine of divine phoenix stone pellet into the naked body, the entire naked body is like a great treasure stone. Silver, red and other colors of the sun. Divine phoenix stone pellet's potency rushed into Wei Suo's naked body. Wei Suo's two divine mystic body, immediately condensed, two bottomless pits, finally completely filled, from the inside out, also began the brilliance of the brilliance, the mysterious halo flow, began to change on its own. Steel Teeth younger sister, throwing black water lotus out. But Wei Suo immediately called a surging sound with great treasure. At this moment, his two divine mystic gave him a feeling of chi and blood, but Wei Suo, who already knows divine mystic, knows that this is still water spirit yuan chi is not enough, and many origin chi have not completely reconciled. At this moment, all the prepared water attribute monster core and the spiritual herb have been consumed, and only the painful cuts of meat, the last black water lotus with amazing water spirit yuan chi. But he didn't panic at the moment, because he felt that even without black water lotus, his divine mystic body had already formed completely and would not collapse. At most, power energy was inherently inadequate. Origin chi, the two divine mystic you need, is also too much. Desolate race, it a luxury. Ling Longtian's dissatisfaction is not only the relationship of double divine mystic, but the water emperor sun swallowing secret seems to be very devastating to origin chi, but she has no pause at all, and she takes black water lotus out and gives it to Wei Suo's. The emerald Bodhi leaves from the seven great treasure secret place were also all played out. Emerald Bodhi leaves can eliminate the amount of great treasure. Origin chi, many good secret places for cultivator, Ling Longtian is always left to the end. Now that this item has been played, all the water attribute monster core and the spicy herb that Wei Suo has accumulated previously have been completely emptied. That's it? Under the scour and aspiration of amazing power, black water lotus was instantly torn apart and completely swallowed up. And this black water lotus contains the amazing water spirit yuan chi into divine mystic, body. Wei Suo immediately feel their own two divine mystic in a fit, a waves of mysterious halo circulation, instant faster than 10 times, a stock origin chi singular connection, in divine mystic, body intercourse weaving a unique order, finally disappeared in divine mystic body. At this moment, his divine consciousness seemed to fly directly out of the sky, and countless origin chi rolled directly from the extraterrestrial starry sky and poured into his divine mystic. His divine mystic is like a million stars. The restrictions at the top of the cave suddenly flashed countless glimmers, like countless fireworks, and a fascinating light that spread like a spider web on the top of the cave. Damn swindler, this is all passed by you. Ling Longtian has a surging sound. She has already seen that the final step of Wei Suo's breakthrough in divine mystic is finally completed. At this moment, many astral origin chi are drawn down and enter the body. If it is not this restrictions, now there will be countless voids above the hill. The halo changes will form two giant great treasures, from the air as the demon outside the field. Shua/P. Just a moment, Wei Suo's divine consciousness retracted, and his body was completely restrained, standing out from good fortune jade pond. N. Wei Suo's eyes are fierce flickered for a moment. At this moment, he felt that many of the origin chi in Black Water Lotus, after being injected into the Heaven Overflowing River Scroll, the origin chi of Heaven Overflowing River Scroll, also had many mysterious changes. The Heaven Overflowing River Scroll itself is refining the cost of life treasure, and after the constant tempering of origin chi in his naked body, it will continuously improve the powerful energy, but now there is Black Water Lotus's origin chi integration, Heaven Overflowing River Scroll. The speed of a powerful energy seems to be a lot faster. Originally, he played Black Water Lotus. He was still very painful. At this moment, this change was an absolutely unexpected great treasure surprise for him. Finally finished, quote, Ji-Ya and others are also pleasantly surprised. From the beginning, the blockade of meat has failed. Now Wei Suo takes the last step of divine mystic. For them, it is really great treasure. The great treasure has fallen. They can't say anything at all. Wei Suo took a deep breath and spared no effort to release his divine consciousness. Shua/P. Like the invisible tidal water, his divine consciousness covers 200 miles around the lust with the secret place. At this moment, as long as he is willing, he can play a Dao technique and hit any secret place within 200 miles. An endless stream of enthusiasm in the naked body. Wei Suo only feel that even if you do not use true Yuan, to fully stimulate qi and blood, as long as there is no restrictions, the essence of the body can be like a sword, out of the mountain. The last step of the fleshy body was finished, and the meat was even stronger. The former meat was like divine iron, but now it seems to be more resilient, more aura, and the vitality of the meat itself. It has also become extremely amazing. Now with the void walking step and the strength of Wei Suo's meat, I am afraid that few golden core cultivators can withstand it. Well, what happened? Ling Longtian looked at Wei Suo and suddenly got a brow and was surprised by the surging sound. What? Wei Suo is still in the naked body of his own change, and he can't react at the moment. Your divine mystic breath is gone. Is it because of the relationship between true immortal origin chi? Ling Longtian looked at Wei Suo and said directly. Divine mystic breath. Ei Suo glimpsed, he discovered that the divine mystic, which was unique to divine mystic great treasure, has disappeared. The fleshy body must have been completely finished, but the smell disappeared. I only want to think about this true immortal origin chi, or the relationship of a refined herb of refining. However, the divine mystic aroma is hard to hide. Now, for Wei Suo, it saves some trouble. He is now very good-spirited. Even if there is no such distinctive divine mystic, you want to completely hide the traces relying on some devices to cover up. Let's go, let's leave this secret place first, and Yin Liwa will meet again. Wei Suo did not rush to present his two divine mystic, but immediately said such a sentence. He was also worried about the safety of Yin Liwa and others, and he is also very clear, Yin Liwa and others his safety is even more worried. At this moment, the heart of lust must be very urgent and very painful. The jade of the entire good fortune jade pond was also redisassembled and collected. In the future, when Ji-Ya and others hit divine mystic, it is also possible to encounter the meat-like lust shape. This good fortune jade pond may also be used for great treasure. Senior Wei, I have a request that is not lust. I don't know if you can promise seeing Tuguyun take out the 3-day forgetful Dan. The old people immediately understood the meaning of Wei Suo's, and the current level 9 alchemist Lu Ziokan first surging sound, watching Wei Suo say. What request? You are also precious to save my life. What are the requirements? I can do it, I will do it for you. /P. I can assure you not to disclose any news about you. Can you not let me take this Dan? I am afraid that I love to study the pharmacology. This ancient recipe is very unique. I may use great treasure for me. Yu Ziokan looked at Wei Suo and said, If Senior Wei is not at ease, simply take me with him and follow Senior Wei. I believe there will be a lot of secret places, and I may also use secret place for Senior Wei. Do you want to follow me? Wei Suo is awkward. I will also follow Senior Wei. Almost all the old people looked at each other afterwards. They were just like the general discussion, the same mouth with surging sound. Wei Suo is a little bit sorrowful. These old people are getting older and better. They know that double divine mystic like him is invincible and must have amazing achievements. It is the best patron. In the next place, you can even move the city under the market to the predecessors who want to settle down. An old man even said this directly. I can naturally promise you such a request, but you have to think about it yourself. I also have a lot of divine mystic enemies. Iesuo didn't hesitate, looking directly at the old people. These old people want to get one person, the dog, and the divine mystic cultivator attached to him. You can definitely get a great treasure, and for those of him, these cultivators are well placed and concocting pills. There is also a great treasure. Usually, the sect of this class like Yang Corp's sect, which wants to attract Lu Xiaokan, this level of alchemist can't be recruited at all. It is estimated that in addition to Wei Suo's cultivation base, Wei Suo took out so many amazing herbal herbs. The group of old men was shocked directly. The old man heard Wei Suo saying that he basically did not hesitate and expressed his willingness to follow Wei Suo. He said that he could not contact the original city and family for the time being, until Wei Suo did not need to hide his way. The bank informed the original city and family. Then Wei Suo took out a bunch of spicy herbs thrown at them, and almost directly let the old man faint. Wei Suo from participating in the Heaven Transformation Cult Great Transformation Alliance will start. Hibernation gas C kill the astonishing number of golden core great treasure cultivator, combined with previous accumulation, Virtue Sect 7 great treasure secret places spiritual garden, the next 2 sect and a great treasure square, and Sky SW Ord sect. The body of the spiritual herb number is extremely alarming. This impact divine mystic the last step, useful to him is only a small part of it, and the remaining great the treasure part of the rest of his useless spiritual H herb. For this group of life in the pursuit of Dao of alchemy old people, is undoubtedly to the great treasure. Many of these spiritual herbs, these old people have even sought hard to find for many years. After removing all the layouts in the entire cave, Wei Suo let Ji Yat and others make the entire cave into fly ash, and even the entire hill collapsed, leaving no trace of Narishi. The group of people changed their description. Without surging sound, they left the mountain without any interest. No one found out that there is a divine mystic manifestation in this barren hill. Euro/P. Eisuo, is this person finally fallen/P? Unfortunately, this person is shocking and stunning, but still like a meteor. The meat is wooden, and it is irreversible after all. Unfortunately this person eventually fell. Numerous cultivators are waiting for Wei Suo's news, but in the past 10 days, no one has heard Wei Suo's news. Just like the gods and devils of Sky Sword Sect's Wei Suo, has completely disappeared in heavenly profound continent. Everyone thought that he must have fallen, because his meat was so tidy that he couldn't hold onto it for a while, and there was no place in heavenly profound continent where someone broke through divine mystics' adventure scenery. This person is finally degraded among the mystic wind sect. Yexian Cheng stood in a secret place, and the wind whistling, the 2 green dragons formed by the 2 unmatched inner chi over the gate of mystic wind sect slowly disappeared. Act Master, Feng Wukang stayed in Immortal Armor City and left today. Without contact with anyone, the water attribute monster core he collected is still on his body, looks very regrettable, sighing again and again. Hmong True Martial Sect, a true disciple of True Martial Sect, seeing Su Shenjun, to report such a message. Obviously, True Martial Sect has been staring at Feng Wukang's actions for a while. The surname Wei's kid, it seems that you are still fallen. A surging sound of Ka. Jun Shenjun's face was stunned, and the life was shattered by a warm treasure seat under the warm jade lotus. To trace the whereabouts of his Dao companion, he might have left the supreme secret place and some great treasure to his Dao companion. A command came from a secret place, great treasure in virtue sect. This person has 4 secret places to enemies, 2 superior, and eventually be Bogi immortal ascension sect's secret seat in the pavilion, a surging sound side. Everyone thought that Wei Suo had fallen, and many people have already recorded Wei Suo's deeds in some books. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 903. Chapter 903 Hemorrhagic. Ru Martial sect and Mystic Wind sect are finally taking a breath, /p. What about the Sky Sword sect? It not that it has fallen. Unfortunately, this person has a battle strength and is amazing double divine mystic. It is very likely that divine mystic will be invincible in the future and will achieve true immortal. It is said that the true immortal level characters of the year, at the time of divine mystic, were the other divine mystic who were able to suppress their contemporaries. The secret place took the lead in stealing the world to great treasure and other resources. If this person does not fall, it is likely to be the first person who can break true immortal in the past 10,000 years. /p. For thousands of years, the world has changed. There has been no cultivator that can break through true immortal, which means that there is no such thing as a human being. Almost all the cultivators in the city are talking about Wei Suo. Some people are gloating, some regret it. There are many sects, looking for the whereabouts of Wei Suo's body and Jia, and want to get the amazing resources and the body of Wei Suo shapeshift great art great treasure, secret place technique. However, in the past few months, Jia and others seem to have completely disappeared from Heavenly Profound Continent and Cloud Spirit Continent. Even Yin Corp sect master Yin Liwai has no trace. The entire Yin Corp sect is almost huddled at the gate. Among them, very few cultivators come out to activities. This makes a lot of people who want to make an idea for Yin Liwai. If the behavior of Yin Liwai and others is clear, some people may not be able to stop, but Yin Liwai and others do not appear at all, but they are afraid to deal with Yin Corp's sect. After all, everyone knows that Wei Suo has many secret place, and several powerful shapeshift great art great treasure. Who is not clear, these things are likely to fall into the hands of Yin Liwai and other people, Yin Liwai and Jia and other people, originally on many golden core cultivator, who also do not know, get Wei Suo left things, Yin Liwai and other people to come out. What divine ability! After all, an opponent in a vulva is always more difficult to deal with than a bright opponent. Euro/p. Hey, oh. A great treasure group of white, looks like a crow, but the surging sound and naked body type is a monster beast similar to the great treasure wild duck, flying in the hibernation gas sea. This kind of monster beast named Snow White Butt, is a habit of some unique ice monster beast. At certain times of the year, this monster beast all from the lonely cold continent some side the mountains, through hundreds of thousands of miles of sea, fly into the islands of hibernation gas deep secret place, and after a few months, these monster beast fly back to the edge of lonely cold continent mountains. This kind of monster beast on the way, very interesting, will be expelled from time to time, sometimes the line into a great treasure font, sometimes lined up into a zigzag, and even said to have a cultivator. Also saw a team of Acura, incredibly also happened to expel a ugly style. The result made the cultivator now crazy, straight to get the group of monster beast. Because the name of the Snow White Butt crow that sees the ugly shape, it is just a 5 great treasure 3 thick, blood basin great treasure mouth, very ugly, usually feel good, often greased, fine dress up the female cultivator. However, this Snow White Butt crow is not very good, but the level is also the monster beast of level 5 low grade. As a result, the female cultivator that was made crazy is actually the batch of white but the crow played almost depraved, and finally escaped, and it was a joke. Whoosh! The Snow White Butt crows flew well. Suddenly, a bucket of black shadow suddenly rolled up. The first two snow-white butt crows disappeared. The rest of the snow-white butt crows are all stunned. These snow-white butt crows are obviously not very intelligent, and they haven't reacted to what happened in the end. Hey! Among the teams, a naked body type of the most great treasure snow-white butt crow suddenly great treasure called a few surging sound, seems to be the leader of this group of snow-white butt crows old giant treasure. After calling two surging sounds, I saw the old great treasure like snow-white butt, and the crows looked like they were swaying. It not a matter of light, dozens of snow-white butt feathers flew down, and the fog below suddenly seemed to blow up the pot and boiled out. Many giant vines swayed out, and in front of the dozens of snow-white butt a surging sound, only a few bird feathers were left, and they disappeared directly. The following batch of snow-white butt crows are still not high IQ, but also to smash a full of powerful energy filled with ice cold, until only 3 or 40 heads remain, the remaining snow-white butt crows only after finally reacting and not escaping will the whole army be destroyed. After the screaming of the surging sound, these snow-white butt crows are flying fast, and the rushing rushes away. However, the group of snow-white butt who ran away was also the best, so that the surging sound of a surging sound crew your sister, could not be heard, because the snow-white butt crows ran when they tried to escape. Running actually also discharged a formation, and discharged a dry word. Let the snow-white butt the crows fall under the thick fog, but there is nothing left, nothing to look at. Only when it really landed, will it be found that there is an unknown island about a few dozen miles away. Looking out from the island, there is a layer of crystal light, which is obviously a restrictions with obstacles. The island seems to be a submarine fire eruption, surrounded by seas, alone, about 500 to 600 feet above sea level, not too short in the islands of the hibernation gas sea. Surprisingly, the island is covered with dense immortal slaying vine, the underside of immortal slaying vine, which is a thick layer of monster beasts' broken bones and carapace, which are at least a few feet thick. I don't see how the rocky surface of the island itself is. I don't know how many heads of monster beast can be paved to such an extent. Half of the island's immortal slaying vine is less than 100 feet long, only the adult great treasure legs are thick, but the other half are more than 200 feet long, and many are already bucket-like. With so many amazing numbers of immortal slaying vine, even a few golden core great treasure cultivators, if they accidentally fall into it, I am afraid that they are simply powerless and directly fall. Outside the island, it is obviously empty, and the crew your sister, of the surging sound is from the inside of the island. If someone is seeing the snow-white butt in the moment, they will expel a dry word, hear the surging sound, and see that there is no one on the island, and will surely be surprised by great treasure. Because the snow-white butt crows discharge the word dry, the island is at least 700 feet away, and there is no one on the island. If the speaker is on the island, I am afraid the divine consciousness range of the cultivator. Close to the amazing 1,000 feet. However, if someone can see the person who sent the surging sound, I am afraid that it will be a great treasure called surging sound screw your sister, and then the eyes are completely out. I said, my mother, if you know that Fen Wukang side and left, there is no connection with Wei Suo, and true martial sect master Su Shenjun, who said that Wei Ziazi has finally fallen, I am afraid I will vomit blood. Calling screw your sister of such a surging sound is what makes the great treasure family think he is dead, and many people are worried about his legacy Wei Suo. At the moment Wei Suo is located in the island in a spacious stone room, the wall of the stone room inlaid a lot of pearls and fresh breath of the great treasure stone, far from the light elegant and fresh and pleasant breath, the whole stone room middle, is a great treasure at treasure's hot spring pool. The pool is made of white jade with lanolin, and the entire stone room and the bottom of the hot spring pool, are paved with a thick, white coral grinding into the sand, and to secret place also decorate some other colors of coral, shells and other things embellishment, This hot spring pool to see, but then Weisuo in Spirit Peak City, secret place heaven grade. The hot spring pool is several times better. Weisuo is very comfortable at the moment, lying in the hot spring pool. There are many fresh fruit trees on the side of the hot spring pool, and he is not alone. Jia, Shui Ling Han Weiwei, Yin Liwa, Nangong Yuking, they are all charming in this hot spring pool. Usually, except for Yin Liwa and Nangong Yuking, the rest are very tender. Han Weiwei is just a mouthful. Now they all have hidden things, but great treasure Duan Yajun, the arm and the white giant treasure legs are bare in the water, and I don't know what kind of means Weisuo used in order to let the 5 of them go with him. You are less coming, I don't believe your ghosts. Can these snow white butt crows be worse than you? Will it happen to discharge such a word? This time, Han Weiwei's white Weisuo glanced at him and said something like this. If I really said what, gambling is not gambling? If we lose, we are like yesterday? Eisuo's first sentence is laughed, publicly speaking, while the latter half is sound transmission to Han Weiwei's ear. Dead rogue, I don't know what Weisuo said is the same as yesterday. Han Weiwei suddenly became undetectable, but he was not convinced. Good. Gambling, you think I will believe your ghost? /P. Good wives, wait a little while, but you promised me to spend half of my time with me today. Weisuo said the sentence at the same time, swish spray a roll, a flow directly in his and Han Weiwei body, condense 2 blue shape shift great art dress, then he and Han Weiwei just a flash, he was at an alarming rate, with Han Weiwei swept out, almost wink, did not use void walking step shape shift great art, has been chasing the group snow white butt plume of the rear. Ah, Han Weiwei's pair of beautiful eyes suddenly read treasure. She felt bad when Weisuo rolled her out, she was completely dumbfounded at the moment. Weisuo did not lie, the group of snow white butt crows indeed is a dry word. Haha, how, lose, Weisuo smugly smirked, haha you're mild, and the horse rolled back. Han Weiwei, who was screwing his waist and swept back. Is it really the same as our way, great divine lord? In Liwa couldn't help but smile when he saw Weisuo's proud plundering. Crap, how can I lie to you? Weisuo patted her chest. I am reputable. Then you really want to be credible. It is estimated that no divine mystic great treasure will be like you. Nangong Yuking dialed the water with his hand and looked at Weisuo with a good and funny look. This time I said that I will accompany you to the hot springs. You will not play this idea for half a year. You should not mention it yourself. /P. Okay, although it a bit long in the past 6 months, we can do something else besides the hot springs, Weisuo said in a serious way. You are necrotic, Shui Ling suddenly treasured his mouth. It seemed that he had never seen such a bad person. He popped a water bomb and slammed it into Weisuo's forehead. Haha, what about water? It fun. Weisuo didn't dodge either, but he was hit, but he also set aside several streams of water. Ah, several great treasure, Beauty exclaimed, and the clothes were rolled up by the water. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 904. Chapter 904, The Passion of the Cold. At night, in the hibernation gas sea, only a few stars penetrated, bleak and quiet. Ah! Ling how are you here? It is obvious that Weisuo and others chose the secret place of Dongfu to make a lot of arrangements in the desert island. Among the residences used by Han Weiwei, Weisuo was a little dumbfounded. He opened the door and entered, but he did not see Han Weiwei. It's a Xingyi, a little blue light, like Shui Ling a fairy in the Moon Palace. She just told me that there are some things to talk to me. She just said that she remembers that Jia has something to look for her. Let's go for a while, you, Shui Ling explained 2 sentences and suddenly reacted to what happened. His face was red and he became panicked. I am leaving first. No, You are hiding and hiding these days, otherwise she will definitely lie to others, and will not lie to you. Wei Suo turned to Shui Linger's hand after Han Wei turned his eyes and said nothing. Shui Linger suddenly twisted. What, don't you like intercourse with your husband? Wei Suo has already figured out the number of roads, and directly pushes Shui Linger into his arms, and the water spirit Yuan Qi is agitated. If I don't like intercourse, I will spank. Wei Suo. Light surging sound laughed at Shui Linger's ear. When I was together at the hot springs, I dared to say that I was bad. You are really necrotic now. Sui Linger is blushing by herself, and she is also the best water spirit root. The water spirit Yuan Qi of Wei Suo is a strong great treasure for her, making her even more attractive. Soft. Yes, then I will simply be a bad person. Shui Linger is surging sound. Wei Suo's hand has slipped into her clothes very unscrupulously, grabbed somewhere. And before she even said anything, her mouth has been blocked by Wei Suo, and she kissed her with a deep kiss. She'll be back. At this time, she had no resistance, but she gasped and said this. Reassured, with my divine consciousness, if she came over, I already knew it. Wei Suo gently hit Shui Linger's sweet white butt, and Shui Linger gave a surging sound. Don't be afraid, husband is coming. Soon, a burst of surging sound echoed in this room. I don't know how long it took, suddenly Han Wei a surging sound whispered. I saw a spirit light flashing out of the desert island. Like the second time, Wei Suo flew Han Wei out, and did not use any hidden things. The surrounding immortal slaying vine was all distributed by him. A copy of Spirit Light is forced to open. Wei Suo took Han Wei and flew for more than 100 miles before he stopped. Young lady Han, do you know what you did wrong today? After stopping, Wei Suo deliberately looked serious and looked at Han Wei, as he often called in Spirit Peak City. What am I doing wrong? Are you afraid of being cheaper? Han Wei was a very bullish look and took a surging sound. Really, it seems that I am not reminding you to remind you that you don't remember. Wei Suo deliberately stared at Han Wei's cockroach snow white butt. You want to do what? Han Wei is a bit nervous now. But you lost your bet today, and said that like yesterday, I pretended to be indecent, and then you used the trick Ice Springs I sealed Tianzi to deal with me. As a result, you actually ran away, so it was very unhappy for the husband. It seems that it is true to be a husband. Wei Suo's claws approached Han Wei towards the past. Dead rogue, Han Wei's face was red, and he turned around and ran. The backhand also shot a piece of crystal. Wei Suo suddenly a surging sound screams. Han Wei a glimpse, when I turned around, I found that Wei Suo didn't even pick up the ice. He was approaching himself with a smirk. Dead rogue. Help! Han Wei is desperate to escape. Haha, call the broken throat and no one cares for you. Wei Suo flashed and was already behind Han Wei, with one hand stroking the most attractive part of Han Wei. Who dare to do this shameless thing? Suddenly, a surging sound great treasure came from a distant secret place. Wei Suo and Han Wei suddenly stayed, didn't expect to be just someone? Will you really see the road? However, Wei Suo immediately reacted, and within the scope of his divine consciousness, he did not scan the existence of the cultivator. He suddenly smashed the great treasure and smashed it. Dead steel teeth. Younger sister, you are not afraid of long needles? Giggle me, I just came out to breathe. I met you first, and you thought I like intercourse. To see you like this shameless look. Ling Long Tian has a surging sound far away, and seems to be a little smug about Wei Suo. Wei Suo sacrificed the indestructible clean bottle directly, loaded himself and Han Wei, and then plunged into the sea below. Ka. The surging sound of the surface below the surface of the water is constantly coming out. It is obvious that the indestructible clean bottle is drilled into the deep secret place below the surface of the sea. Death, you are light, painful. It's impossible, I shouldn't have any problems with the control of the flesh and true Yuan now. You forgot what you just did yesterday. Han Weiwei's teething and surging sounds came out of the indestructible clean bottle, but after a while, it turned into a very awkward surging sound. This surging sound made the spring in the deep sea. Another starry night, Wei Suo stood in a reef in the sea. With his breathing, the sea around dozens of miles naturally formed a unique rhythm, and it seemed to be worshipping him. Whoosh! Suddenly, Wei Suo's right hand and two fingers, a shocking divine light Cyan sword Qi, turned out to be all the way, playing a full 400 miles, kneeling on a blue-winged water lion beast floating on the water body. The blue-winged water lion beast is also a strong great treasure monster beast of level 6 low grade, but in the face of Wei Suo's sword Qi, it has no resistance at all, and it has been split into two halves. Wei Suo's figured out, took a sword light, and soon reached the beast that was smashed into two halves, and the monster core and the body of the beast were all collected. Then, Wei Suo walked the waves and occasionally reached out to hit the mystic fiend ghost claw in the sea below, grabbing some monster beast and artifact refinement materials. After solving mortal body turns into wood on the same day and breaking through the last step of divine mystic, Wei Suo went smoothly with Yin Liwa and others. Then the group carefully moved the shapeshift great art array and directly crossed the wasteland and returned to hibernation. Gas Sea. Now known as the nameless desert island of Dongfu, it is located in the northwest secret place of the hibernation gas sea. This secret place island is selected by Jiyaetal, and the Earth Mother ancient scripture records the flame refining landform. The backbone of the island, like some of the hills of Sky Sword sect, all inside is essence metal. Of course, following a group of Wei Suo's old people, this secret place was also brought by Wei Suo. In the months of operation, several secretions have been arranged in the secret place island, plus these immortal slaying vine, unless divine mystic great treasure can come, otherwise the golden core cultivator has been extremely difficult to attack. After breaking through divine mystic, his next funding needs more amazing. His double divine mystic is a real naked body. If his heaven overflowing river scroll breaks through the last step of divine mystic, the powerful energy is also available. A great treasure breakthrough, this period of time for the closure, his heaven overflowing river scroll has reached the power of mystic level top rank. At the moment he runs Water Emperor Sun swallowing secrets, the wash of heaven overflowing river scroll and the devouring of his divine mystic shapeshift great art, the ordinary level 4 level 5 water attribute monster core is almost instantaneous refining, no need at all. So the problem he is facing now is not that there is not enough time, but that divine mystic great treasure can be a problem, but the resources are not enough. During this period of time, the seas within tens of thousands of miles have been swept by him, and many monster beasts have not felt right, either they dare not enter the sea, or they sink into him without shapeshift great art. In the deep sea, it is not easy to show up. After collecting more than 10 days of resources, that is, half an hour is not enough, you can refining clean. If the cultivation base wants to improve, it is sure to leave the secret place, the great treasure size to scrape the water attribute monster core, or walk through the search for something that can greatly upgrade the cultivation base. Now Wei Suo's 2 divine mystic shapeshift great art's powerful energy has increased by at least 20%. This is not the time for the refining water attribute monster core and the spiritual herb, but because of the heavenly dragon crystal fruit. The day in Dragon Burial Mound, he received more than 90 heavenly dragon crystal fruit. Heavenly dragon crystal fruit origin Qi is extremely unique, refining more than 30 heavenly dragon crystal fruit. Wei Suo divine mystic shapeshift great art body is strong great treasure at least 20%, but this effect seems to have reached heavenly dragon crystal fruit limit, and then RFing, it is found that heavenly dragon crystal fruit has been to divine mystic shapeshift great art body does not work. Wei Suo's divine mystic shapeshift great art body, itself has been extremely amazing, with purple Qi East divine ability star and petal 72 products Lian Tai, body around heavenly dragon, fairy sound fall, and the successful completion of the last step, and refining more than 30 heavenly dragon crystal fruit, once again promoted divine mystic energy. He found his powerful divine Shapeshift great art body. The rear also appeared a white Jushan, behind the head also appeared gold plate, which also has many kinds of different fruit, great treasure flower pattern. This makes Ling Longtian even more speechless, because it is according to the ancient saying that shapeshift great art is also the two variation scenery of being with God and auspicious gold plate. If there is a cultivator in the ancient super sect, there are not so many variation scenery, even if only half of Weisuo's sect must have been used as an ancestor, almost 100% to achieve Jinxian. Pure void vine Weisuo is not used now, because there is only one left, the accumulation of medicine is still short, and he does not want to do the chicken and egg, and prepare to wait until later. More than 30 heavenly dragon crystal fruit, he also only spent a few days refining, so the next time, I am afraid he has been ghost raising jar began, the most leisurely time, and Jia, Nangong Yuking, Han Wei, Shui Ling Er and Yin Liwa, in this period of time but a good tenderness, the result of this period of time down, his mystic fiend ghost also claw energy great Treasure Rose, has surpassed the mystic rank middle grade powerful energy, is close to mystic rank product powerful energy. And at the moment mystic fiend ghost claw is extremely cohesive. When it comes out, it is like a yin yuan great treasure stone arm. It is hard to pick up the shapeshift great art great treasure below mystic rank, and there is almost no loss. Sword King old ancestors inheritance of only my heart sword, he has already been enlightened, only to kill the blue wing sea lion beast is the use of this technique. This technique is very peculiar. With Weisuo's cultivation base at the moment, it is possible to seal a heart and close it to nearly double the range of the divine consciousness. In other words, in the face of detectable opponent, the equivalent to she shapeshift great art increased great treasure 1 times, and with cultivation base and divine consciousness, shapeshift great art distance will continue to expand great treasure, even if the divine mystic fourth, Ken and Wang layer like the Wei mark avatar words, directly can salvation means in a sword chi, as the ordinary, across thousands of miles to kill opponent. Now among the 3 people of Duguyun, Yeguwei and Yes Yaozheng, Yeguwei is changing shapeshift great art recultivation and repairing heaven level top rank true UN in the exterminate self sword scripture of Sword King old ancestor. Duguyun the cultivation base is not far from the golden core, so the shapeshift great art recultivation has not been changed. It is only the shapeshift great art of the ancient sword of the Huangpujualun cultivation. Yes Yaozheng has not changed shapeshift great art recultivation. The reason for this is also because of the lack of resources at hand. Yeguwei's exterminate self-sword scripture, like Nangong Yuking and Han Weiwei's great desolation Dao asking scripture and West's clean-colored glass, is also awesome. According to green-robed old man's inventory and estimates, Weisuo's accumulation is almost enough to send Nangong Yuking, Han Weiwei and Duguyun to golden core, but the rest are not enough. If you use ordinary spiritual stones or medicine pill cultivation made by ordinary monster core, it will take a long time. Culture Heaven rank top grade shapeshift great art, built from divine sea, can be repaired to golden core in 100 years. That is not slow. Except for Han Weiwei and Nangong Yuking who didn't go to golden core, others like Jia and Shui Linger have already arrived at golden core, and of course they are like a bottomless pit. An impact golden core, or to have amethyst fox rose and other spiritual herb auxiliary, can do foolproof, so next, is bound to go out of experience, according to him and Ling Longtian plan, is ready to go to Lonely Sea Old Continent line, and then go to Ling Longtian said place. After all, great treasure can leave Samsara tower not desolate so dangerous, and there may be great racy luck. These days, Weisuo is already preparing for Lonely Cold Continent. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 905. Chapter 905 The Plan to Scare People. Let's see. After killing a blue-winged water lion beast, Wei Suo hovered for a long time on the sea thousands of miles away, and then swept back to the deserted island where immortal slaying vine was planted. Wei Suo's preparations for lonely cold continent's trip are also scary. During this time, Wei Suo has also secretly inquired about the lonely cold continent cultivation world through Sea Immortal sect and some caravans. The inquiries were the same as Wei Suo's previous estimates. Lonely cold continent's 5 super great treasures, Little Extreme Circle, Great Cold Palace, True Thunder Sect, Yuhua aristocratic family and Zhangsun aristocratic family, are said to have divine mystic great treasure can exist. And according to some positive news, Little Extreme Circle and Yuhua aristocratic family are likely to have more than one divine mystic great treasure. As for the Huangpu aristocratic family, the strength is probably similar to that of Heavenly Profound Continent's Netherworld Palace. The real home is in the secret place Snow White Butt area in the east of Lonely Cold Continent. It is said that there are also 5 or 6,000 years of inheritance, and 2 divine mystic great treasures have also been produced. If it is the ordinary divine mystic great treasure, Wei Suo is not afraid, but the inheritance of 5 or 6,000 years, this kind of connotation has to make him be careful, because such a long inheritance, it is likely to accumulate many amazing inheritance. Shapeshift Great Art. So in addition to Sword King Old Ancestors Only My Heart Sword, the powerful Shapeshift Great Art, Wei Suo is also preparing to take the mind-devouring bug and repair a copy of Shapeshift Great Art Great Treasure. Lonely Cold Continent and Wei Suo are still preparing to go with Ling Longtian, so that in the face of the strong enemy that Wei Suo and Ling Longtian are difficult to deal with, the chance of fleeing will be more precious. And now Han Weiwei and Nangong Yuking and others, just want to close the closed-door cultivation, in order to impact the golden core. As for Blue Luan and Yang Rouge Bird, Wei Suo is not ready to take it with him. First, the strength of Blue Luan and Yang Rouge Bird has also increased rapidly during this time, both of which have reached the point of breakthrough. After this breakthrough, the strength of Yang Rouge Bird may reach level 8 high level, only one step away from the level 9 monster beast of the most powerful great treasure. While Blue Luan is the blood of the level 9 monster beast itself, it is the blood transfusion of succubus deer. When it was incarnated in Blue Luan, the strength was not full, and then Yang Rouge Bird learned a lot of powerful energy. Great treasure has fallen a lot, but after this breakthrough, the strength should also reach level 8 mid-level. Level 8 mid-level. The strength of the above is also the strength of the great treasure cultivator above the golden core 3rd layer 4th layer. There are Blue Luan and Yang Rouge Bird on this secret place desert island, Jia and others are also safer, and Blue Luan and Yang Rouge Bird are too conspicuous. Heavenly Profound Continent and Cloud Spirit Continent. Many people know that Wei Suo has this 2 different birds, brought on the body, are likely to expose the true identity of Wei Suo's. When Wei Suo is acting, I am afraid it is not so convenient. Now the strength of this secret place desert island is quite amazing. In addition to the 2 birds, Blue Luan and Yang Rouge Bird, Han Weiwei's primal chaos Yunwei has a lot of monster core devour refining, so the strength is also amazing, and the strength is close to level 8 mid-level. And through this period of cultivation, Han Weiwei has also figured out that it seems that the monster core of metal attribute, and some variations of earth attribute and wind attribute monster core is useful for her primal chaos Yunwei, other monster core, but the great treasure is useless. Among the Qi Longshan and Qingping couples, Qingping is about to break through the cultivation base of the golden core 2nd layer, and Qi Longshan's cultivation base is now at the late stage of the golden core 2nd layer. If the 2 are firmly against Wei Suo's some high-level spirit pellet, who used the spirit pellet to Han Weiwei and Nangong Yuking, and their cultivation base may have broken through. Feng Xiao and Zhangzhuayu, Yu Shiking, and Jiya's cultivation base have reached the late stage of the golden core 1st layer, while Shui Linger's cultivation base has reached the late stage of the golden core 1st layer. Together with Yin Liwa's evil king Dark Box, the cultivation base is very fast and has reached the late stage of the golden core second layer. It's just like this. It's not the Weisuo's brother rabbit. It's already 3 levels of 8 or more beasts. 8 golden core great treasure cultivators are gathered in this secret place. Weisuo's brother rabbit is Weisuo without shapeshift great art, caught in a state of no shapeshift great art, just in heavenly profound continent, the second step of divine mystic and the reunion of Yin Liwa and others. Weisuo, it has been found that his cultivation base has actually broken through the golden core fourth layer middle stage. Anyway, listen to Yin Liwa and other people said, Weisuo the way to observe when, indeed is also very silent, because divine consciousness confused Li Zi seems to really have a few people in the same control. He cannot stop when the cultivation, even walk to speak, even concentrate on doing something else is no exception. Anyway, just give him enough spiritual stones good. If there is no spiritual stones, he will naturally stop. If you can figure out this state and make a P-shift great art, it is definitely a supreme strong shape-shift great art. Unfortunately, Li Zi's current state and Weisuo's realm at the moment are impossible to create. One without the shapeshift great art, strong shapeshift great art came out. For this, Weisuo only has spiritual stones, which gives Li Zi a great treasure, and keeps him in mind. After blocking mortal body turns into wood and breaking through divine mystic, Weisuo has once again fully cultivated mind-devouring bug on his way back to hibernation gas sea. Before 20 days, his great treasure Bessie mind-devouring bug has once again fallen into a deep sleep. Before this, he great treasure shellfish mind-devouring bug secretly assassination golden core second layer. The third of layer has no difficulty at all. The advanced after that, even if there is no power to inspire, its own ability, will certainly go further, with the body, in some inconvenient to do their own occasions, used for covert kill, but also extremely useful. As for the shapeshift great art great treasure, Weisuo can repair a shapeshift great art great treasure after it was built into the double golden core. After golden core is integrated into the shapeshift great art great treasure, powerful energy will strengthen the great treasure. But Weisuo double golden core, then heaven shaking great treasure war, and was almost made mortal body turns into wood fall, and these days passed, until today, Weisuo finally feel his divine mystic shapeshift great art phase has been completely stabilized. 2 divine mystic shapeshift great art phase are already like the real king of the water. He control s up, also has been directly like their own mind general, with desire burning, so today, is really can repair another life shapeshift great art great treasure time. But to say that his preparations are scary, not because of mind-devouring bug and the shapeshift great art great treasure, but the third thing he is going to get. The third thing he is going to get, is the true immortal ancient emperor corpse in the yin-yang grave, where 3 divine mystic great treasures can be beaten. This ancient emperor corpse can be said to be truly powerful, and it has half the strength of true immortal. It is estimated that the following cultivator is hard to match, and it is up to Weisuo's current cultivation base. It is estimated that it is only a part that is easily killed. If you can bring this ancient emperor corpse to your body, when it is thrown out, it will be really fierce. So Weisuo has always been obsessed with this ancient emperor corpse. After returning to the hibernation gas sea, Weisuo has carefully combined with Ling Longtian and green-robed old man. The result of careful totaling is that it is not impossible to bring this ancient emperor corpse to the body. There is a kind of yin yuan ancient jade called Shen Peach, which can make this undead fall asleep. In order to wake up this undead, you can just use a spicy herb called rayberry to stimulate it. Thunder fruit is not difficult to find, and Shen Peach is a kind of jade of the peach tree, buried in the soil for a long time, a kind of jade, which is rare, but it is not a rare millennium. First sight. The key to this plan is how the ancient luster of ancient emperor corpse is broken. If the evil suppressing bone coffin of Yin corpse sect has been broken, it is estimated that no one can approach it and enter the Jiantao ancient jade. Origin Qi. What excites Weisuo is that, according to Weisuo's detailed directions, Xuanhuan old ancestor has been explored near the yin-yang grave with a unique shapeshift great art. More than 10 days ago, there has been a positive message. The ancient emperor corpse still under the yin-yang grave under the yin veins, but also was sealed in the grey bone coffin, seems to be in an grey bone coffin powerful energy phase, but no shapeshift great art doesn't out, every 1 or 2 days, will play grey bone coffin shock open a line, hit a heaven shaking terrifying powerful energy, sometimes directly into the void, sometimes the earthquake collapse great treasure piece ground. With the strength of Wei Suo and Ling Longtian at the moment, ancient emperor corpse is still trapped in the skeleton and is very likely to succeed. Therefore, Wei Suo and Ling Longtian have allowed Xuanhuan old ancestor to secretly acquire Shen Tao and Thunder. As long as these two things are available, Wei Suo and Ling Longtian can go directly to Yin Yang grave and set up shapeshift great art took the ancient emperor corpse with him. This with ancient emperor corpse if hand, that can really be Wei Suo the strongest great treasure the pressure of the bottom of things, then directly to get him out of the coffin, into the thunderstone, on the body of the emperor has not fully awakened, to what difficult to deal with the great tree sure force gate inside a throw, and then run, then that great treasure force is a divine mystic sits, there are a lot of inheritance shapeshift great art device, estimated also thoroughly miserable. After returning to the desert island, Wei Suo plunged directly into a great treasure hall. The great treasure hall was also dug out inside the desert island, close to the foothills, and all the holes in the windows of the great treasure were dug out on all sides. The outside was inlaid with a unique transparent crystal stone, which was matched with the shapeshift great art array. You can see the scene of the desert island within 600.5 miles. Great treasure temple inside, also is not Wei Suo in the small night island simple caves can compare, walls are made palace general, not only carved a lot of exquisite great treasure flowers, vines and other patterns, but also inlaid a lot of jade, great treasure beads and other things as a decoration. The ground is also paved with a thick layer of silver grass blanket, placed a lot of biolean. Shortly after plunging into the great treasure hall of some great treasures, the brilliance flashed, but Ji Ya and Qi Longshan, Qingping, Feng Zhao and others all arrived one by one. The reason for this is that Ji Ya and others have not previously had a culture shift great art great treasure. This time, Wei Suo is a one-time selection of the things that are accumulated in the hand. The great treasure family finds it appropriate and uses it for cultivation. The life of shapeshift great art great treasure. It's not easy. This chapter has been written since the afternoon until now, finally coded out when writing a book, when writing is smooth, it is quite intercourse, but when there are many times when the idea is unreasonable, it is extremely painful and this thing cannot be inert. If you can't write it, tell yourself not to write it, then maybe it will become more and more entangled, more and more lazy. I have to be strict with myself and go to the chapter that will continue to prepare for tomorrow morning.